Hi and good evening, everyone. My name is Albert, and this is VlogsBoutNothin. Thank you very much for taking the time out of your night to join me. I really appreciate that. It's Thursday. It's almost the end of the work week. You feel me? So that's good. You guys made it, through another work week. So I applaud your efforts. In 20 years, when we all don't have jobs, hopefully I'll be able to still applaud collectively all of our efforts, seeing as though, we still want to be alive and well. So hopefully by then, we'll have things like universal basic income and nationalized health care and, dare I say, student loan forgiveness, or at least the opportunity to attend post secondary education on the government's dollar, on their bill. But again, nonetheless, it's really cool to have you. And, I was saying the other day that, like, I really try my best every single night to entertain you. Essentially, not just essentially, in all of its entirety. That's what this program is. I mean, it's 80% that, and 20% I get an outlet to express all of my thoughts and random opinions and rants, and that I benefit from that tremendously because, well, I mean, this is what I hope to do as a career, as I get old. I mean, my old face has to end up somewhere. And I guess it'd be no better place than here on YouTube. And so, seriously, for all the people that watch every single day, I can't thank you enough. I know that you're out there and that you exist, and that, I just, applaud you for sticking like with me, you feel me, as it concerns like really giving me the opportunity to share my life with you, which is awesome. So I'm going to stop, you know, um blowing smoke up, like wherever you may think I might be blowing that smoke. So, I do want to talk about coffee cups, okay? And if my phone wasn't being held up by a coffee cup right now in real time, I'd show you my coffee cup. But, coffee cups and mugs mean different things to different people. I know that coffee mugs and coffee time, are kind of like some of the most important things that I do in life. I really enjoy, drinking coffee. And I think, moreover, a lot of my habits come from hanging out with my grandma and my grandpa when he was alive and I was younger. And I say that because coffee reminds me of, hanging out with family, like talking about nothing, I mean, who would have known? That's exactly what I ended up turning out to do, wanting to be. I'm aspiring to do nothing. Thanks, Grandma. Thanks, Grandpa. And so it's always been, again, like a real sociable kind of experience for me every time, especially now that I get older. It's sort of like there's two things that you do when you get old. It's you talk about the weather and you drink coffee. I mean, this is universal in that, I mean, these are kind of some of the common denominators, some of the very basic qualities that we share, especially here in the in the Western world, or here on Central North America, right, in the United States. The whole rest of the world, I think, drinks tea, and they call soccer football. So Americans are a little different, you feel me? In that, like, we have certain things that are, in fact, unique to our country. And one of them, again, is like the fact that we all drink a bunch of coffee and we're all a bunch of caffeine addicts, which is true. Caffeine is a drug. And even if you just drink one cup of coffee a day, you're adding a lot of caffeine that you might not otherwise have in your diet as a result of drinking that cup of coffee. So there's been studies that go both ways. Facts can be interpreted in many different ways, I suppose. It's just how you sell it. But I've read literature on both the good and bad of drinking at least one single cup of 8 ounces, 8 ounce cup of coffee every single day, and how there might be some benefits to that. Drinking one 8 ounce cup of hot coffee, just hot coffee, no milk, no cream, no sugar, just black coffee. There is some, evidence that suggests the people who do that, get a lot more of the benefits that you can get from coffee because you can drink too much coffee, you can make too much love, You know, you can take too many showers. I mean, there's so many, you can do anything in life too much. And when you do it too much, it becomes no fun. So, learn how to like space it out a little bit. But I really think that the whole social experience of coffee shops goes back to, from what I can remember, original protests. And these were the original places where people talked and conversed about all of the bad things that were going on in their time, just like a few hundred years ago, as it concerns like the tea shops and the tea places and stuff like that too. You feel me? In that, like, hot drinks are an experience. It's one of the very few that we all really can get behind. There's nothing like a glass of hot chocolate, especially when it comes from a stranger out of the kindness of their heart. I mean, am I not like right? One hundo, like that's the thing. You feel me? I mean, have you guys ever had the fortunate privilege of like being outside of some stranger's house looking at their Christmas lights because they've made it a scene and have invited the community, and then like some random cool mom pops out the front door with like a tray of hot chocolate? And no, I'm not just describing a scene from Christmas with the Cranks. I'm actually, people do this. I mean, I know the world's a bad place, but there are some nice people out there. And in fact, some of them are even willing to make you hot chocolate as you literally, sort of assault their home. In that, like, these are very welcoming people. You'd have to be very welcoming to put on a show of such stature. And so, again, like, coffee or coffee mugs or coffee time. I know that in particular, coffee mugs, one of my favorite possessions in life, right? Obviously, like, I have a handful, and they're all super cheap things that just cannot ever be replaced, right? And one of them is my coffee mug. I think another one of them is like a plate that my grandma gave me, and another coffee mug that my grandma gave me. And she occupies three out of the top five, possessions that I own that I really care about. And so coffee mugs are one of them. Coffee mugs, show a part of us. I feel like they're like our shoes, like they say something about us. The kind of coffee mug you uses says a lot about you. Coming from the random dude here in Albuquerque, you feel me? That's my hypothesis. And I want somebody to look into that, because I've heard of different studies that even correlate to how, longtime dog owners end up looking like their dog, or vice versa. I mean, I don't know, maybe the dog starts to look like the human nonetheless. Have you seen the Dopplers for people and their pets that they've had for a long time? It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird. So, coffee mugs are just something about someone. Kind of like the modern day version of, the bottles that are really popular. The Stanley cups. You feel me? It's like a Stanley cup. That's exactly what it is. My version of my coffee mug is like y'all's version of a Stanley cup. You feel me? And Stanley cups go deep too, because even old people that have Stanley cups decorate it with their favorite stickers, and they put their favorite little sayings on them. And it's, again, just very unique to being a human. I mean, like, in the future, if like some aliens, stumbled upon a mass sort of like burial of where there was a bunch of restaurants at one point, and then they're all gone, and then all that's left encased in perfect, forever chemical plastic is just some random server's weight book. Because back in the day, when I was a server and stuff, we'd always like decorate the inside of our weight books, you know what I mean, with like stickers and our own little affirmations to get us through the shift where we'd inevitably have to deal with, I guess, we didn't call them Karens back then, but Karens have been around forever. So, rest assured that this isn't just a recent thing. However, we can't thank Karen for giving us the opportunity to actually call it something. Before, it was just an untitled sort of act of prejudice. Now it's called being a Karen. Can you imagine being Karen? Like, I mean, you really seriously? I mean, by now she's had to have changed her name, right? Her name isn't Karen anymore, right? Am I wrong? Is her name still Karen? Because if it is, I'm not a therapist, but maybe just change your name. I don't know. You'd kind of have to, right? I just otherwise that's a tough job interview. You know, my name is Karen, and then the person already has, some thoughts about that. And then can you imagine interviewing the real Karen? You're like, oh man, you're the real Karen. I'm not sure if you can work here, ma'am. I just, it's not even that I don't like you, it's just that, like, you're Karen, and I'm not sure if we can employ the real Karen. So I just, man, she didn't even seem that old. Like, hopefully she's got some cash stacked or something. Again, because we all have skeletons in our closet, but dare I say that, like, Karen is, man, that's a tough one. I mean, it's not as tough as saying you're Sean P. Diddy Combs right now. Ooh, low blow. But nonetheless, it's still pretty tough. I hope that you guys have a really good night. Let's all thank something or someone that we're not having the kind of experience that Mr. Combs is having right now. But again, a lot of us are laughing and poking fun at it just because, I mean, not all of us are fans of forced freak offs. Some of us, we enjoy that informed consent part, and even if that's provided, we definitely don't, enjoy being locked in rooms for days. It's just so sus. You feel me? It's really sus. Anyways, I hope that you guys have a really good night. It's just like blowing up the feeds. You feel me? Like, if, no Gen Z or Alpha has ever heard of this man, they definitely have by now. And it's not good stuff. But again, it's like dominating the feed everywhere you go, right? On news, Facebook, Instagram, it's everywhere. So I hope that you guys have a really good night, and I promise I'll be done with the Diddy jokes soon. I'm not sure how soon though, and then they'll obviously come back. But right now we're riding that Diddy joke vibe. I hope that you guys have a really good night. Bye.